The Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, divides the Korean peninsula into two enemy nations. It's a farcical name for one of the most heavily defended strips of dirt on the planet. To the north, the repressive DPRK regime has built a massive army with one purpose: invading the south. Its leader is an unstable megalomaniac who is driving the country deep into poverty while he builds vast monuments to the Stalinist state. A leader who is seeing his military might rapidly eclipsed by the sheer economic power of his southern enemy. The South appears well protected by the combined forces of the ROK and the United States. From a Western perspective, an attack by the North would make no sense. But faced with a stagnant economy and pervasive starvation, the DPRK regime has little left to lose. Along the DMZ, the soldiers of the combined forces wait for an attack, which now seems inevitable.
North Korean invasion forces have begun an all-out assault on Seoul. South Korea is pouring its best troops into the battle in a desperate effort to defend its capital. U.S. ground and air units are also heavily committed in the house-to-house urban fighting. Effective air cover and support should be the key to repulsing the DPRK attack. There are three key missions to be performed: BAI strikes to block North Korean reserves attempting to join the battle, close air support to assist the army at the point of contact, and combat air patrols to prevent enemy air from harassing the defenders. If Seoul falls, the North will control the major invasion routes down the peninsula. The Combined Forces campaign has started to unravel. The week's losses have forced a retreat across the front. Combat hospitals are reporting higher casualty rates, with infantry suffering the brunt of the enemy counterattacks. A military spokesperson called the setbacks unexpected, citing problems in communications and logistics. While tons of material are shipped in country every day, the right supplies are not reaching the units who need them. As the casualty numbers climb, congressional leaders have begun calling on the president to bring American soldiers home.
In the past few days, fresh troops and materials have arrived from America. In addition to these arrivals, recent battlefield successes have raised speculation that the combined forces may be launching a new offensive. The combined forces leadership, of course, refuses to comment on operational plans. But increased air activity indicates that a sizable offensive is underway.
It would have been a proud day for Kim Il-sung as the forces of North Korea captured the southern capital. Instead, it was his son who led the celebrations. The DPRK army outmaneuvered and outgunned the combined forces, defeating the best units of the South in detail. Despite the efforts of American pilots, air power was ineffectual in blunting the attack. The ROK is now faced with the very real possibility of defeat, unless the combined forces can reorganize and find an effective defensive strategy. The North Korean invasion appears unstoppable.
The U.S. military is faced with its gravest challenge in years. A North Korean armored blitzkrieg has ripped through the defenses of South Korea and captured most of the peninsula. The Combined Forces Army has been forced back to the Pusan perimeter, its last line of defense. It may only be a matter of days before the North can break through the hastily erected defenses. More U.S. forces are being committed to the Korean theater of operations, but given the current pace of the battle, they are unlikely to arrive in time. The soldiers manning foxholes along the front are bloodied and battle-weary, but given half a chance, they would love to take the fight back to the enemy. It is now up to American air power to slow down the North Korean onslaught and give them that chance. U.S. forces are pulling out of the Korean theater of operations. The combined forces' strategy to rely on air power to stop the DPRK onslaught has proven to be a costly error. While ROK soldiers brace themselves for what could be the final northern assault, their U.S. counterparts can only ponder the lessons of defeat. As bitter as those lessons may be, it is the citizens of South Korea who will pay the ultimate price. A privileged few may escape with the U.S. evacuation, but most face assimilation into a regimented, repressive society. Exactly how the North Korean regime plans to carry out this re-education remains to be seen.